Hello, welcome to Wonder Dad Gaming. Of course, I'm Lemon76 of Wonder Dad Gaming. Thank you for joining us today for another review. Today we got something a little bit interesting, a little bit different. It's going to be an upgrade for the PC. As you guys saw in a video I posted a week or so ago, I did an AIO that my wife lovingly got for me. The only thing I don't like about it is the fans. The fans that come with it are a little on the loud side. It's very effective. I have no issues with this AIO. I still recommend it. I think it's still a good AIO. But the fans are a little loud. So, and of course, you know, the white build and all that I'm doing here, I kind of wanted to stick with a white theme. So, I found I was, of course, rolling around on Amazon, which I always do. And you know me, I'm always trying to find budget items. So I did find something that's a little bit different, kind of cool. So we're going to go over that today. So this is the ID Cooling Icefan 240. And basically what it is two 120mm fans in a single casing. Now, Asia Horse makes a version similar to this, but theirs is way more like RGB, like it's like crammed with RGB. This one's a little more muted, and of course I did get the Snow Edition. You can get this in black. So let's go ahead and open it up. I have not opened it up yet. It is, let's go over the box real fast before we do that. ID Cooling, it is syncable with Aura, Gigabyte Fusion, MSI, and ASRock. So pretty much all the RGB software that is controllable by your motherboard, this will have it. So, like I said, this is addressable RGB, so it has all the lovely RGB. So right off the top, we got a couple of, looks like we got four radiator screws and four like your standard plastic screws that you would use to mount into this plastic. That's when you first open it up. Okay, and now let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. Of course, you know me, I always like to do my unboxings with you guys. So I've not opened this up yet. I do not know what it looks like, so we will see. Yeah. Oh, and of course, cardboard. I said keep it needle around here, right? If you do notice, I did get a different camera, so hopefully it looks better. I'm not using my phone anymore, so hopefully. Okay. Of course, I slightly destroyed the box. Let's see. Is there anything on the back? Okay. Let me get you guys some dimensions, because you may want to know that. They're 245, 125, 27mm. That's their dimensions. 12 DC, 3 watts. Goes up to 2,000 RPMs, 56.5 CFM, and uses ball bearings. And has a, it says its loudest dBA is going to be 31 decibels. So, quiet. Okay, here it is. And what do we got here? So we do have extra stickers. So that's going to be for right here on the fan, right here. It does come with extra stickers. So let's take a look at it. So off the bat, as we see, we have 2 cords coming off of it, and we have the 4-pin that would be your CPU fan, and then we have a typical 3-pin RGB header. This of course is not compatible with 4-pin. You're going to want a 3-pin. Looking at it, it's a very similar white to my case, so that's a well match. It does have rubber grommets right here on each point where it's going to contact against the radiator. It's pretty clean. Now you can see it does actually have more rubber contacts, so if you were mounting this on front of something like a radiator or case, it would have extra stability, but the way my system is, this is going to be a pulling fan, so I will actually have it mounted this way. Now, this is RGB, the fans light up, and also right here on the sides, these just basically let the color bleed through, so you get some side light with it as well. Now, looking at the fan blades, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 9 fan blade, so typical. This kind of reminds me of the older fans that were popular on radiators. Was the, what was it called? The Glorious Hurricane or the? They were a Noctua fan, if I remember correctly. These are very similar to that. Let's see. Let's look at side play. Almost none. It is very tight tolerance. The blades don't feel flimsy. They feel pretty stiff, which is good. Glorious Typhoon. No, no, eventually I'm going to remember the name of it. It was a very popular radiator fan. Now they do sell this radiator. Like I said, this does come in black, but this is also is very similar to the setup you get with their GPU cooler. ID Cooling makes of course, a standard AIO similar to this one, and they also make a GPU cooler that uses this exact thing. So, what's the advantages and disadvantages of something like this? Advantage: it's one piece, it's easy, it's 4 bolts, and you're in and you're done. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Disadvantage of this would be if one of these goes bad, you have to replace the whole thing. Now, when I got this was $35, so it wasn't too bad. I find that pretty acceptable price for something like this. It's going to be very unique. It's going to look really good in my case because, of course, you know me, I've went with the full white setup, so this will mount in here. So we're going to go ahead and get that mounted in and then do some testing, do some sound testing. See, is this quieter than what I have in here right now? Now, I'm not going to do, I know some people usually do like 100% fan speed and all that stuff, like how's it sound, but let's be honest, most people have AIOs in here. They're not running their system at full tilt. They're running it at basically your normal noise level. So we're going to test it at that level, see if it's any better. And of course, we're going to test out the RGB, see how good this looks, see how bright this is, and all that stuff. And I will let you know, is this something worth getting? And also, what would this be used for? I mean, it would work great as a case fan. You could mount it in front of the case. You could mount it on top of the case or something like that. Just an easy plug and play. And it's actually surprisingly does have some weight to it. It's not like flimsy and light, which you would think some of these would be. This one's actually pretty light. DC brushless motors. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll finish off the video and let you know what I think of it and is it worth your money. So stick with us. Okay, now that we're all done with the unboxing and the B-roll footage of the fan in place, let's go ahead and go over everything that's going on with this. It did take me a little bit to get this in, and it wasn't a fault of the fan or the AIO and all that I have. The fault is the case that I'm using here. This is a PVA Prodigy MATX case. It's great if you want to use an airflow case, like for like an air cooler and things like that. When it comes to AIO, it's a little more tricky. I would not recommend it if you're looking to air or water cool your system. I would look at a different case. This one, not the greatest for AIOs. So learned the hard way. Had to get a little longer screws. You probably saw it in the B-roll. That I had to get different screws to make this work. But now that it's all hooked up and working, this thing works great. Pros of the fan are they are quiet. They move quite a bit of air. They're nice, and the RGB is very nice and bright. It's just the fans that are illuminated. The light that's coming from the side of the fans, that's actually from very thin cut plastic right there, and it lets the light shine through. But they are very vivid, bright, really nice. The The other advantage of these is it's an easy to install unit. You only have to install, it's only 4 screws to install this unit. You don't have, like, 6 screws, or 8 screws. Sorry, 6 screws, my bad. 8 screws if you're in, and it's like installing like these fans up here. It's just, like I said, it's just the 4 screws. Now, I will say the 4 screws that do come with this, you have screws that come for an AIO, and it also comes with your standard, like, knurl style screws, are very high quality. Actually, I ended up using those screws in putting this back fan in, because the ones that came with these fans here I didn't really care for, but the screws that came with this one were great. So definitely the quality of this product, it shows. It's really nice. It's a pretty well made product. So the way I got this hooked up, I'll go through that real quick. Now on this Aorus motherboard that I have here, which I did a review on, there is 2 ports by the CPU fan: the CPU fan opt and the CPU fan 1. Now I have the opt port on this is actually meant for like a water cooler, a pump, or something like that. So I have my AIO plugged in that, and then I have these fans plugged into the CPU fan. So these read what the CPU is actually doing. So these will adjust their speed and stuff to the relatively temperature of the CPU. So that's how I have this set up. Now I have it on more of a silent fan profile, and these things it's just whisper quiet. Like, you can't even hear this thing running. It's so quiet, which I really love. And when I'm like everyday gaming, I don't hear, or everyday like video editing, and when I'm like doing my streams and capturing like from my Xbox, I don't hear this thing running at all. Now when am gaming, I still don't hear it, and the reason I don't hear it is because when my ROG Strix card ramps up its fans, it drowns out any noise that ever makes. So these are very quiet, very easy to use. My only con for these fans, it's kind of a simple one. If you look at the fan, you kind of can see where it would be. And if one of these fans inside this unit fail, then you have to replace the entire thing. That is, to me, my only con for this setup. Now, because they're only like $35 for, at the time of this video, they're $35. Of course, I will have links in the description below, and if you do want to get one of these for yourself, follow that link. If you buy it through the link, it helps out the channel. We always appreciate that here. And also, it does come in black. So, if one of these fails, it's $35, and you have to replace the entire thing. Compared to some of the other fans that are out there, like the name brand fans, it's still pretty cheap. I mean, I know Corsair fans and NZXT fans, I mean, you're looking $50, $60 for a single fan. So, if you're looking for a 240, either for, like, say, top airflow, like something like this, or front mount, or radiator, for mounting to a radiator, I would 100% recommend this fan. They work great, they're quiet, they're easy to install. Yeah, and the price point is great. It's a really nice product. So far, I've had no issues in all my thermal testing that I've done. This thing's worked great. It actually outperforms the fans that came with the AIO that I got, the thermal take fans. Which, those thermal take fans, when, like I said, when they were at idle, was louder than this thing at full speed. So, yeah, if you get one of those thermal take AIOs, I'd recommend buying this set of fans to go with it, because yeah, that was the only that was even my con in that video, was the loudness of those fans. And like I said, once I replaced it with this one, yeah, the noise is gone and this thing's quiet again. So, well, thank you for joining me today's review video. Of course, all these products I buy with my own money, so I'm not influenced by any corporation or anything like that. So I give you my honest opinions on all my reviews. Of course, we always do budget review videos around here, because, hey, we all can't go out and buy the expensive stuff. Like, the On Gaming keyboard I did a review on. That's my #1 keyboard. This is the keyboard I use every single day. And I only paid $45 for it, compared to, the Logitech keyboards that are out there, like $250. Shoosh. Yeah, not all of us can go out and afford that stuff. So that's why we try to do budget-oriented videos here. So, well, we stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday and Saturday. And when we stream, we do, on Tuesdays, we do VR night. Wednesday is Warfare Day, Warfare Wednesday, which is Call of Duty, Halos, any shooters. Fridays are Fortnite Fridays, and Saturdays is Anything Goes Saturday, and we will play anything we feel like. You know, we'll change it up a little bit, play something different. You know, have some fun, things like that. So. And of course, every month we do our Amazon gift card giveaways, and we are now closer to finally getting our 500 followers between our Facebook and our YouTube. And once we hit that, we will be doing a game giveaway where we will actually buy a game for the winner of that contest. So stay tuned for that because we're getting really close. And of course, if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. So. Well, I want to thank everyone who stopped in today and watched this video, and hope you found it informative, and you look into buying this part. So, of course, I'm Lemon76 on Wonder Guy Gaming. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, peace.